he did a Q&A, and one of them was like, so how does your wife feel about this? And he's like, have you guys ever noticed that all my recordings in my truck, I mean, she's supportive, and she loves me, and I love her, but does she watch these videos? No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Does she think they're funny? Probably not. Does she love me? Yes.
Like, that's like, you wonder about the voice monster guy. Like, that guy's just, he is just out there.
He is on if he is actually a fucking normal guy, and that's just how he's able to channel that inner just absolute
weird fucking shit,
then I commend him, because he's got to be there's got to be issues there.
Oh, yeah.
Schizophrenic, manic depressive, some shit, because he is, or maybe he's an actor, I don't know, but he is like, the shit that he posts is like,
how'd you even think of that?
It's mad genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because he goes that extra level. He painted a perfect picture of what was going on with a fucking milk crate and a Coke can. Like, the one was, I shit in the house again. Yeah. Ah, God.
That's what I mean. And someone's filming this, or no? Yeah.
No, it's just a tripod.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's a fucking madman. That was funny. All right, eat you asshole first. Wise decision. Oh, fucking.
Can we turn on like TV or something? It's just weird that it's black. We got cable?
To watch The Price is Right. Price is wrong, bitch.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Toshiba. Yeah. I'll be honest, like, being able to watch us on there, it felt like we were talking to an audience.
Yeah.
Even though we're just literally talking to ourselves.
I can put it up there if you guys want.
What was the negative effect of that?
The robotic fucking... But that's just what we see. No, it records that way too. Oh, okay. But we're still recording off of this, so if you guys are more comfortable with it being up there for now, I can do it. Either or. It's literally just one plug.
Asking genuinely, how do you throw a punch? Like, if anyone has tips.
Very good question, my dear. Okay, you don't want to go with the old chip jab. You're not going 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. You know, you want to take the fucker out with one swing. So it's all about haymakers. Haymakers. Fuck you. And if that doesn't work, you can just go with the ragdoll. 100% of the time, it works almost never.
Asking genuinely.
He was lost in there at the end.
I'm told that you're a fan of me and my demon. Well, I regret to inform you he's in town.
Like, how much of this guy's house does he fuck up? Like, just doing his videos.
It makes you
I
wonder.
have so many questions.
It makes you wonder if he like if he's married and has a normal life, but like his wife knows and they have an agreement. Like, look, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., I go to the shack.
You can
no one fucking talks to me.
Yeah.
You leave me alone.
Yeah.
And outside of those hours, I function as a perfectly normal human being.
Yeah.
That's fine. But if I don't get my me time in the shack to make my videos,
Yeah.
then what's in the videos becomes normal.
Yeah.
Do you want that?
Listen here, Damon.
I will eat you, asshole,
Yeah.
first. Okay, now we got to start the fucking podcast.
Okay.
Called the shit poo. All right, Chris, here's your note. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. This first episode, we're going to be going over Tyler's truck because we finally have a direction that he's going with it.
Maybe.
For the most part. He's pretty sure.
69% there.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. Mostly due to the DDC podcast that happened on Monday. All right, so we're going to get this show on the road. Tyler, your shooter about dually.
If I could have found one. Actually, there was a dually there, but it was a cab chassis, so I'd have no bed.
It's true.
That's true.
That would have been a very weird truck.
That would have been a weird truck.
Luckily, there'd be parts for it though, because cab and chassis trucks are becoming more popular now. But
Still wouldn't want it.
yeah, me either.
Yeah.
100%.
So I have an idea. We have an idea.
Yeah. You have an idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get this intro out of the way because we got to get straight into talking about Tyler's truck. So, if you're tuning in because you love 7.3s, just know that I love you too. But this episode's all about Tyler, because Tyler spends 69% of his time talking about 7.3s.
Yeah.
And so now it's time for Tyler to talk about Tyler's truck.
Hey, I love talking about myself.
Me too. Maybe that's why we're so good.
Same
Bunch
body.
of narcissistic a-holes. All right, thank you for tuning in, everybody. This is Ben and Tyler from America's Diesel Podcast coming at you from Spokane, Washington. Thank you for tuning in. You can find us on all of your normal podcast outlets, Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that use a new podcast. You can find us on there by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You can also find us on the old Instagrams, the Facebooks, and the TikToks, and the YouTubes. YouTube is a great place if you want to kind of get a discussion going, because we do have some people that regularly comment on there, which I greatly appreciate. Thanks all you guys. I saw Chase Wilcox commented on there, Jim Lawrence, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And I talked to him and I forgot his name already, but his handle is Dad Cooks Food or Dad's Cook Food or something like that. I don't know. He's in Washington though, so what's up, dude?
Yeah.
And we get a good, lively conversation going on there. If you do need parts for your truck, Diesel Power Products is always there to help you out. If you try and reach out to me and Tyler directly, I'm not saying that we don't answer the phone. Just if you email us directly and you need a part ASAP, a lot of times it is the best thing to do is to call and talk to our sales techs. They are on the phone at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Primary job.
Yeah. Literally, their job, answer the phone, get to the right part you need, make you happy. Boom. That's it. My job is loose. Yeah. But I still get on the phone every now and then anyhow. But yeah, they will get you taken care of. That's Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Phone number 888-993-4373. Tyler, tell us about reviews.
Oh, yeah. Keep those reviews coming in. Again, we need 200 of them, okay? 200 more.
If you tell your friend and they tell two friends, and those two friends tell two...
That means only like 4 people need to tell their friends. Again, steal your relatives' phones, friends' phones. Go on Apple iTunes, download the podcast, subscribe, whatever you got to do, and then 5-star review it.
Break the law, my friends.
Just break the law. Nobody enforces that. Nobody enforces that.
Cares.
Yeah.
Passcodes, facial recognition. Nobody cares.
But let's get those 200 more 5-star reviews. Take a screenshot of that. Send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure to include a picture of your truck and an address that we can send a sticker to. It looks just like our logo on our backdrop and our cups. Ben.
One last thing before we get into it. Lastly, if you are placing orders online or you do happen to call in and speak to one of our knowledgeable sales techs, please make sure and let them know that you listen to the podcast. Or if you're placing the order online, throw a podcast in the notes section. You receive absolutely nothing. So it's very motivational, I know. But what that does is I go through every week or two and I'm able to find orders that came from podcast listeners. That helps us explain to the guys that fund this show
that we're cool.
We're cool, right? I make money too.
No, it truly does help out the show, and the more people we can get to do that, the cooler stuff that we can do. And I've been pushing. I wanna release more podcasts during the week because, like, at least, I mean, for me, I listen to podcasts all the time. So, if I don't have a new podcast like every day, my day could be pretty boring for my ears. Yeah. So, maybe eventually we'll get there. But we got to have more people letting us know that they're listening to the podcast. It's kind of our low budget way of tracking.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it is literally low budget because it costs us no money.
Yeah.
And it only costs you time and keystrokes. So
and
thank you for doing that. Okie dokie artichoke.
Yeah.
So Tyler. What?
So we had a really fun podcast with the guys from DDC.
Oh gosh, that was so good.
Yeah, I think it was great. Half the time they were just kind of smack talking each other, which is great because that's what we do. Yeah. So it's just it was a good conversation. But I jokingly brought up, and I've been thinking about this ever since I knew they were going to be on the podcast. So I love their wheel designs. I feel like they're classy, but kind of, and I don't mean this in a bad way. And every time I say it in my head, I think it could be portrayed as something bad, but they're classy yet simple.
Yeah, I think that I wanted to say this to them, but like after talking to the three of them, it makes sense why the wheels look the way they do. Because they're three guys that have been in the wheel industry a very long time.
Yep.
They understand simple, good taste, timeless.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing, and it's like you said, it feels bad saying like I don't want to say they're simple because they're dumb, but it's like it's simple, it's good, it's always going to look good. They're not a trend. They're going to look good 20 years from now. Yeah.
So let me back up a little bit. You guys, I've mentioned this on the show. Like I have no idea like which way I want to take my truck. Like, am I doing like 17s and 37s? In like a 3-inch lifting, kind of going that route, or am I doing something different? And this has been the only truck where I hadn't already had a wheel and tire combo that was like already on my radar.
Yeah, it's super annoying too because we all want to know what you're doing.
Oh, for you guys probably, yeah. For me, actually, it's been nice. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of stress-free for me. Yeah. Like it's just kind of like I just kind of hop in the truck and drive. And I mean, it's pretty much still completely stock other than a set of airbags.
True,
but it's doing everything that I need it to do at this current time. So after having that conversation with DDC, and I jokingly brought up, hey, why don't you guys do SRWDC wheels for single rear wheel design company?
Purely as a joke.
As a joke.
Like we were, I wrote it down in my journal. We were joking about it.
I wrote it down. We were laughing about it later. I said, that was a great joke I came up with. But the funny part of it is so DDC is going to be coming out with super singles. Okay. So for you dually guys, how freaking badass to put super singles on your dually. I think whenever I see like a semi truck with super singles, I'm just like, badass, like that's cool.
The first time I realized what a super single was, and I saw it on there, I was like, yeah, that's why I think.
Look at those freaking tires
so
back there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's wicked. Yeah, and he said, well, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do super single wheels. You could just run 4 fronts.
Yeah.
and then we pretty much had like a little love fest there for a second. I think I might have told him that I'd come kiss him on the mouth. I don't remember. I was kind of in a blur at that point in time. But that got me going. That got me excited. Because, and this isn't, our kind of signature truck that we do here is because we do have off-road power products, right? So we kind of bridge the gap between diesel and off-road. So most of our trucks are on 40-inch tires and, 20s, or do we have some on 17s? I don't think we have anything on a 40. Anyways, usually it's small wheel, big tire, and suspension.
Yeah, for our MO is low slung, tucked, 37s or 40s preferably, and the only truck that's going to get a 20-inch wheel is going to have at least 40s on it, with one exception. That was Ram Mule, our tow rig that we had for a while. That dually, it had 37s on 20s.
Yes,
but it was a dually.
It was a dually. Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much for us, you got to have that amount of sidewall to do something like that.
Yeah, which I like. Okay. But you get to a certain point where you start looking at other things that you could do to the truck and like other looks. And I'm kind of a fan of the okay, just imagine a super single front on all four corners in like a 20 or a 22. And I don't even have to go to like a 37. I could do like a 35 or something along those lines. So I was thinking like a bigger wheel, okay, but not a smaller, like necessarily a smaller tire, a proportional tire. Like I used to have 20s on 35s on my second gen. So I'm not opposed to that. Like I don't, because I know if I go to 37s with a 68 RFE, I'm going to want to gear the truck.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing I got to deal with. Now I think I got 355s in that truck, or 373s.
Yeah,
I got 373s.
I guess 373s.
I think I could get away with a 35 for a while, and not, especially at stock power, and not be too far out of range with some things. So I was thinking DDC fronts on all fours, okay, keeping it relatively this, because I don't even think I'd have to even lift it for 35s.
Well, it's a big wheel and tire combo though.
Right. So I don't even know how that would play out.
Big.
Here's the thing. Never done it, so I don't know. Nobody here has done it. So like kept a truck relatively low. Like before, I wasn't even opposed to lowering the truck. Like I kind of wanted that look of like that street
long and low
look, which I'm not opposed to, and I'm not like talking like a lowrider where this thing's slammed to the ground. Like that's not what I want. I still want to be able to use the truck, and that's another part why I like DDC wheels is because they're like a fancy utilitarian style wheel. I mean, the load ratings that they build in their wheels are factory or better. So I'm thinking that's the route I want to go. But see, we're a huge Carly suspension for Ram trucks. So I like their ride quality. So do I keep with stock springs, or do I do just like a 2.5-inch spring up front? But I don't know. That's the part I'm still undecided on. But I think I've decided on wheels.
That's a big portion of it.
That is big. Yeah. That's a big move for me. Okay. I still haven't decided, and I've never done this, chrome or black. Black is kind of overplayed for me.
I know.
Chrome is not, and I do have a chrome bumper, but it's like, man, do I want to go with that much chrome like that?
The thing is, if you go chrome, that's going to be a signature big truck look.
Yeah.
Because how many big rigs do you see rolling on with black wheels?
Not very many.
No.
Yeah.
They're all polished.
Yeah.
So I think doing a super single and a polished
on a silver truck
is going to be.
It might look pretty fly.
It's a little blingy, but I think it's tight.
Yeah.
I think it's a good look.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to do something a little bit different. And that's kind of we'll see what comes out with these super stickers, because I haven't seen any pictures or anything. I don't know if it's going to be like the same style of wheel, but just in a super single type of.
I think a super single, if they make it in the whole style, I'm gonna have a hard time not putting those on my OBS.
I think I'd rather do like the aftermath style of wheel. I like the hole. Don't get me wrong, but
On the newer trucks,
I
I
don't think
agree
it
that the hole
fits.
doesn't work on the newer
I don't think
trucks.
it
in my
fits
opinion,
for me. At least, there's people out there that love them. With more power to you. It's a great looking wheel. So that's as far as I got. I do know I am gonna do Banks's 6.7 intake manifold. Like I'm doing that for sure. Performance wise, I did talk to the guys at Calibrated Power. So they basically they're like ready to pull the trigger on tunes for me right now, but I'm just holding back a little bit. I'm just holding back. I just turned 10,000 miles in the truck.
You know what?
So.
I think before you even, we should. I'm going to put this out there, and I'm putting it on the podcast, so it's going to be talked about no matter what.
Okay.
Well, the guys at Calibrated Power have their own podcast too.
Yeah.
I think the only way that you're going to be getting Calibrated Power tunes on your truck is if we podcast each other.
Ooh, that'd be kind of fun.
That would be super fun. We've had Nick Prentice on before. He was
Oh yeah, we did.
That guy's awesome.
That was so long
Yeah,
ago.
that was a long time ago, guys. Like, that's probably episode.
That was podcast room number 2.
Yeah, it might be like 30 or 50 or something like
Yeah.
that. In there. But he was fun. I had a great time talking to him. And I've shot messages over to them over there, all that kind of stuff too. Because
Yeah.
everybody always thinks like, oh, podcast guys hate each other or something like that. No, we all talk.
No, we're all cool.
Most of us listen to each other's podcasts. Like, we're all in the same space.
There's only one podcast that I want to absolutely annihilate and destroy and delete from the entire podcast land.
Do tell.
NPR, Car Talk. What the? Who listens to that? Who listens to that? That's number 1.
I know.
It's ridiculous. Those are not car guys. Maybe they are, but they're not. NPR.
They're basically their
Car Talk.
Their advice is always take it to a certified shop.
I don't know how they're number 1. Honestly, maybe it's just because they were probably started doing it at, like when podcasts like just came out. So they're like, I don't know.
I mean, radio show is pre-podcast.
True, but I just don't get it.
We're coming for you, NPR.
Oh, we're coming for
We're
you.
coming for you hard.
Yeah.
Coming hard for you.
Maybe the Daily Wire will pick us up. Yeah. Start a media.
Hey, you need an automotive section, Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
My name's Ben. Your name's Ben. I mean, come on.
Come on, about the same height.
Come on. I don't think. I think I'm taller than him. For some reason, I feel like he's short.
Oh, I know he's short.
Like, he's got to be like 5'7", maybe 5'8".
We're close. All right.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, I'm not a tall dude, so I mean,
Yeah.
we can both be short together to put all the other alpha males out there. They're ginormous. Like Corey.
Daily Wire team up with America's Diesel Podcast to take down NPR Car Talk.
Boom. Hey, leave reviews, folks. That's the only way we're going to get bigger. All right?
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the truck. But did you guys notice when I went out there because I my cup was in my truck, and it was in the back seat, and I opened up the back. You know what I still have in there?
What?
The tag that came from factory on the passenger seat. It's still on there.
Nice.
I looked at that and I was like, hell yeah.
That's mine.
That's fine. We had to take that off. But no, I think that's a route that I want to go, but I do want, even if I don't lift it, maybe do like a like instead of like Fox shocks or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Everybody else builds. You built my excursion for me basically when I didn't know what was going on. I'm going to build your truck right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Carly leveling kit. So we're not doing radius arm drops. We're not doing it. Those are just leveling springs. I'd like to see you in some commuter shocks minimum.
Yep.
Track bar.
Yep.
And that should pretty much put you right about level with the rear.
Yep.
If need be, we can find a way to 1 inch space it if we need to get more height out of it because of the wheels. Because this is, again, it's a territory that we haven't done before.
Right.
We don't know what kind of offsets or
Oh,
back
I
spacing
did.
we're working on.
I did tires. I think I want to go with the Nitto Exo Grapplers. It's like a heavier duty all-terrain tire. Because my favorite tire before, like what I had on my Eco Diesel and on my Suburban, was Terra Grappler G2s, which I really liked. They're a good tire for year round, but I feel like I'd blow through them just because I'm towing all the time. So the Exo Grappler is like a heavy duty version of like an all terrain. So Exo Grapplers, DDC, super singles, fronts, all on all fours, possibly chrome.
Chrome. I see chrome in my head. I see chrome.
I keep on trying to like think. We've just done so many. There's so many people out there that do black wheels, and I like black wheels.
Coming back around again.
I like them, but at the same time, silver truck, chrome bumper, black wheels. It's just kind of a lot. I want it. I want it to look clean. I want it to look.
Well, and it's one of those things where I would have to see a rendering of it, because if they did like a black super single that was like had a little bit of like machined on it or something like that, so like the features get highlighted on there.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a black wheel, I feel like it's gonna just kind of get lost on the truck.
Right.
You know? It's a black wheel. Like, oh, black wheel, whatever. But if it's a chrome wheel and it has that super single look to it, it might just be more attractive to the eye,
Right,
and stand out a little bit more.
and it would kind of just tie together the chrome that I have on the front bumper and the grill and that sort of thing. Because I didn't really have any plans of like changing all that stuff. Like my Eco Diesel, I blacked out the front bumper. Did the what else did I have chrome on that? I think it was just the front bumper. Oh, and the emblems.
Badging.
I did the badging. Did the factory black badging. And that looked cool. I liked the black with that color of truck because it was the maximum steel metallic.
Of course it was.
Maximum steel metallic.
Maximum steel metallic.
Yeah. Which I really like that color, but that sort of fit with what I was going. But this truck, I do think I don't think these words have ever came out of my mouth in the same sentence. I think chrome would look good on that truck. I mean, definitely be different, a different build than what we've done here at like completely. So I like that. I like being different.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I dig it too. I think it'd be a hot looking truck.
Yeah.
So we've got more stuff to talk about with your truck.
Okay.
Because you've been thinking, I think we alluded to it, or maybe mentioned in a previous podcast, that you're thinking about changing your hauling setup as far as like trailer, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so I like the truck rack. Okay, I think it's cool. I think it looks cool. It functions great. But just the whole process of like the whole camping process, right? Like you want to get out into the woods, you want to enjoy your time out in the woods. When I get to wherever we're staying, it's kind of a process for me. Like I got to set up the trailer, I have to unhook the truck, move the truck, get the trailer situated as far as leveling jacks and all that fun stuff. Then I got to put the ramps on the rack. I got to untie the side by side, get the side by side off, put the racks back in the back of the truck, and usually move my truck back, to a parking. It's just a lot. Like I'm as everybody else is enjoying their time at the camping, drinking, and doing their thing. Like I'm still putting stuff away. It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about it. For what I got, it functions perfect for my setup. Like it's great. But we started looking at some toy hauler, either bumper pull or like a fifth wheel type of setup, which does make things a lot easier and nicer. We were looking at kind of smaller ones. Like this is stupid. Even though the way that my house is, okay, I've got like this side parking lot. It's like a brick driveway, where I can only fit so big of a trailer right there. Anything over probably 28 feet, like it's not going to fit in my driveway.
Is that because of your house and the roof, or because of the fence and the grass?
The fence, the grass, and just where it's parked right now. Because I've got a cinder block kind of like barrier between the grass and the brick.
I can break that.
Oh, I know. I've already thought about even taking the cinder blocks out and just pulling the trailer in my front yard on that side.
Yeah.
just so it's off to the side. But what we're eventually doing is we have a vinyl fence, and so I want to have someone come in and open up that fence where because right now my gate is only like 9 feet wide, if that. I don't even think it's 9 feet wide. I can't get my trailer in my backyard, which is where I want it, and I want it in the spot where I'm going to put a shop. So I've got to get bigger doors on the gate, and I also got to eliminate. I got to level out the side yard because so it's a little bit of work for me to get it over there right now. So and honestly, like when we go out in the woods, like we spend like no time in the trailer, like no time, like we sleep there, like that's it. So we were looking at smaller, like travel trailer type, toy haulers, which we found some that are like right around the 28 feet, 14-foot garage, which my town would fit. Pretty basic. I have such a hard time with trailers because there's some of them that are like, I mean, I'm not gonna say cheap, like price wise, because I mean we're talking like a $60,000 to $70,000 trailer, but they're cheap. That's in like you walk in and it's got like the vinyl floor that's like the sheet. It just doesn't feel like our trailer. Like I have a 23-foot trailer right now. That thing is built like a brick shit house. That thing is nice. Solid.
It's every time I've been in there, I'm like, I get it, I'm like, man.
Yeah, and that's
this is nice.
It's a 7,000-pound trailer. The cargo capacity of that trailer is 4,500 pounds. I don't know where you're gonna put 4,500 pounds in that trailer, because like there's only the storage compartment up front, and I got a swing down storage thing in the back. But that thing can hold 4,500 pounds. It's got 2 slides, so one on each side, and it's pretty cool. The kitchen opens up, and then the dinette opens up, and then I got a island kitchen in the middle. It's perfect for 2 people. Like it's awesome. We actually really love our trailer. But there's some of these travel trailers that I've gotten into. It just feels cheap, and I just can't bring myself to spend that kind of money for something that feels like it's built like cardboard.
Right.
So it's tough. We found a couple online that we've kind of really liked. But we just, I don't know. It's something that we're definitely probably going to get into some sort of toy hauler just to make things a little bit more fluid when we go camping. But at the same time, I'm going to keep that rack. I'm not going to sell it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it.
Well, I mean,
for a pretty cool thing to have.
For a day trip to go have some fun, like
yeah, and me and one other person can get it in the truck. Like it's not bad. But yeah, I don't know. So that's something I got to take into account, especially if maybe I'm looking at some like a 5th wheel. I don't want to go too tall with the truck. And also, if I'm keeping that rack, I don't want to go too tall because I just want to keep the center of gravity low. I don't want to have something that's jacked up higher than, well, you know what Ash would say.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Right? Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Taller than draft pussy.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know where we're gonna go. Like right now, it's kind of hard too because there's not a lot of options available right now. So we'll see what comes of that. I wouldn't be opposed to like a 5th wheel just because even though it's gonna be longer, you could jackknife the shit out of those things to get it parked. Like where I'm, like my rack comes within less than ½ inch of the fiberglass cap on our trailer right now when I turn it. Like it's close. Like if I jackknifed it, I could push that rack right into the front of that trailer if I wanted to. Yeah. So.
Well, that truck with super singles on a 5th wheel.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I go to when we look at the 5th wheel thing. Okay, you're talking about a lot of living space, like a lot. Again, we're never in there, and I tell this to like my buddy Mark, that's got that super high mileage 7.3. He's like, "Oh, you'll be in there when you got that." I'm like, I don't think we will. Like nobody just hangs out in a trailer. Like if I want to hang out in a trailer, like I'll just stay home and hang out in my living room.
Yeah,
I mean, really.
Well, at that point, for me though, and we talked about before too, the cool part about the toy hauler part is you now have this like kind of mobile shop, mobile garage. Like you just set that up, get your tool chest in there, get that out, get your
Yeah.
get a second set of tools in there,
Yeah.
get extra parts and everything, so that if anything does happen while you're out there, you're a one-stop shop, Tyler. Like, let's get it done.
Yeah, and let's say, like, for instance, this year, we went 8 weekends in a row. We were out.
Mhm.
A lot of those weekends, I could have just left the side-by-side in the trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even have to, it's like a second garage, it's a mobile garage, just like we were saying. I get like a roll-up tool bag that can hang in the side of the garage. I've got my Pro Eagle jack. I can get the mount for it, mount my Pro Eagle jack in there. Like, it'd be a cool setup.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in being out, out there, if you have to service something on the vehicle or on the side-by-side, you're now not
In dirt.
in dirt. You can get it pulled in. You can, put a winch on there. Or if you get a winch on the side-by-side, you can pull it in even if it's broke down.
Yeah.
And fix it. And now you don't lose a day or lose a weekend or go home early. It's like, oh,
I'd be down with
I can
that.
fix it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Again, bumps up the price range. I mean, we're talking trailers that are around like 70 to 80, which, do we want to spend that kind of money on something that we don't really live in? It's just a hard, it's a hard thing because we got our trailer for relatively cheap. I think we paid like $26,000 for ours, which is pretty cheap. It's a 2017.
For what that is,
Yeah.
26. It's, I don't know if it's a screaming deal that you got in or something like that, but whatever. For 26, that trailer does not feel like a $26,000.
No, it feels like a $50,000 trailer.
Easily.
Like I've got literally a little touchscreen remote that I can control the slides, the awning, the jacks. Like, it's super. It's a badass trailer. It's a badass trailer. But again, it's just that whole. And maybe some people might be listening to this, and go, "Oh, you're pussy." Yeah. Like, okay, go camping literally every single weekend and tell me how. Like, by the time I get the side-by-side off the truck, I'm, like, sweating. Like, it's a process. I mean, it's a lot to do.
Well, if any I'm going to go ahead and generalize. Most of the people listening to this are probably dudes.
Yeah.
Most of them are probably either, maybe dating or about to get married or something,
Right.
or already married, something like that. Where I wouldn't say there's probably not too many teenagers listening to this, unless they're kids of the people that,
Right.
you know what I mean? But as like if you're a dad and you've taken your family out to go do stuff, they know exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
It's when and I'm not saying that, mom's job, your wife's job is not hard, getting kids moving or getting, I know you don't have kids, but like,
she gets the dog. Because I'm running around the trailer doing everything. She's setting up the inside of the trailer. So she's got all her knickknacks and all her stuff that she puts out. Opening the slides, getting all that sort of situated.
Mhm.
As I'm doing the jacks, I'm doing, all the other things. Setting up the, power, water, whatever we have at that time, getting the generator out, that kind of stuff. Here's another thing, now that I mention it. What's cool with these like the travel trailer ones, the travel trailer toy haulers, and the fifth wheels, onboard generator that's powered from inside. Dope.
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
If you ever, we do a lot of dry camping, so I've got a little Honda EU 2000, whatever, the quiet Honda generator, which works great.
That's those little red.
Yeah, the one we have here for.
Yeah, God, those things are
It's a
amazing.
great generator. And they also have fuel tanks, fuel storage. So I can fill that up with some non-eth. And that way I've got, however many gallons for the side-by-side, which is nice. Because there's been plenty of times where we go riding and we're riding all day. And I'm like, wow, we need to find a fuel station. Because if we want to go riding again,
Yeah.
so we have to plan our trip around getting to a fuel station kind of a thing. And yeah, I'll have like a 5-gallon, container of fuel, but it only gets you so far.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of nice to have those features, just because I know what we do when we go camping. Like we get there, Friday night, we have dinner, we do some drinking, and then it's early Saturday morning. We're out all day, and then we come back, and we fire up the fire up food, fire up the drinking. We might do a night ride. Like, I know our whole. So, like, to me, I want something simple yet effective for what we're doing. So, but quality. I don't want cheap, and that is a hard thing to find.
Yeah. Good, fast, cheap. Was that? Yeah.
Well, size wise, like I don't want something too large. I don't need any fancy stuff. I need a 14-foot garage, which limits me on a lot of trailers because it won't fit in a 12-foot garage, which is a lot of the travel trailer ones are like a 12, 13-foot. I can get away with a 13-foot, but it's not a lot of room for me. Not a lot of room. And we've had even friends with, we've got 2 friends that have around like a 32-ish travel trailer toy hauler. We had one friend that their side-by-side shifted inside the trailer and was like up against their cabinets and walls and stuff like. So it's just like you want to make sure you got something that's got enough room.
Well, I mean, you get some proper max tie downs in there.
Well, for sure. But
and you have your own garage, so you can make your custom tie down locations where you need to be.
Well, no, you don't.
No,
they're already on the floor.
You can't change anything.
Not really. I mean, I'm sure you could, but it's quite a bit of work. I mean, they have like D rings on the floor that are, some of them are just tied down to the floor, some of them are tied down all the way to the frame. But they've got quite a few of them, that you can tie up to. So, yeah, whatever I do to the truck suspension wise, I do want to keep it as low as possible.
Right.
As low as possible, because I don't know what I am going to do with whatever I'm pulling.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is like get the truck set up super sick and a little bit taller, and all it sounds like I am 2 inches out.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I pride myself in setting up my trailer properly, hitch height, all that stuff, tongue weight. Like I pride myself in having a premium towing experience. You know what I mean? And when you start getting too high, you have to worry about drops and all these things that you don't necessarily think about at the time you're doing the cool stuff to your truck because you're just focused on that.
That actually, we're going to answer one of our listeners' questions here because that segues perfectly in. Because we had someone on our Instagram post, which if you guys want to hear certain things talked about, we do post relatively infrequently on the old Instagrams and whatnot. And we actually had one we got 79 comments on, which was fantastic. Thank you guys. But I wrote them all down, and I got them all on my Excel sheet. You know how much I love Excel. Yeah. But one of them was talking about, and I'm going to try and pull it up here, having a lifted tow rig.
Yeah.
Positives, negatives, what do you got to look out for? How much is too much? What do you need to do? And I think that kind of segues perfectly with what you were talking about just now.
Yeah.
Setting something up to do a job, and a lot of that comes down to lifting what you're going to be towing with.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up here. Gosh, there's so many good comments. Someone wants another, what's up with that? What's up with that?
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Cue Jeopardy music.
Yeah. Bradley says, I run my 7.3 at high idle. It's 5:30 a.m. to warm up, and my neighbor actually said it's a secondary alarm in case he doesn't wake up. Oh, yeah, bro.
You really screw up his day by not calling it. Well, he's got a secondary alarm anyways.
Yeah. I can't find it, and I feel bad now because there was.
We know the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can set up a larger lifted truck to tow properly, but it's all going to come down to your equipment. One of the manufacturers that comes to mind right now that has parts like specifically designed for insanely lifted trucks is bulletproof hitches. Once you start getting over to a certain amount of drop, I can't remember it off the top of my head what it is, but they have actual support bars that will, because when you have a big giant drop, you've got you're creating a giant lever at the bottom of that hitch where the ball is to keep because you want your trailer level as it's hooked up to your truck. Well, if you have a giant drop, they make support brackets that go from the bottom of that hitch up to your frame.
Yeah.
And there's these actual bars that attach that have heims on them that you can adjust. So that is imperative when you're especially towing something heavy, bumper pull, with a giant lifted truck like that.
Yeah.
Again, if you have not enough tongue weight, you're going to get the wobbly back.
We've all seen the video of the Mustang with the trailer on the treadmill when they move weight front and
Yeah,
back.
absolutely. You guys have all seen that. I can tell you right now, I before I had my truck and I was driving around that Tundra, there was 2 times that I towed when I first got it that I knew it wasn't set up right, and I could feel it in the steering wheel. I made some adjustments. It was gone. It was gone. It was amazing.
Yeah.
When your trailer is set up right on your truck, it makes the truck feel like it's more attached to the road, not less. And that's what you want. Like when I tow with my side by side on the roof, with my trailer, everything loaded down. Again, I hate saying this. Because I don't want people to take it the wrong way, but you don't feel it. It shouldn't move you. You are moving that.
Yeah.
You have to be the one moving everything. Don't let your load move you.
Don't let the tail wag the dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's setting up your trailer properly is just going to make for a better, like now when I go, like I'm going, like tomorrow night, I'm going to be loading up the side by side on the truck. And then Friday I'm taking off at noon. We're headed out. I'm going to have everything's already set up. So I get the side by side up there, get it tied down, I put my hitch in. I literally back up to my trailer. I know exactly what pressure I need to put in the bags. And I know exactly what adjustment I need on my torsion bars on the hitch. Like everything is set up perfectly. And the thing tows, you ought to drive with me one time with it hooked up, because it's actually amazing how anchored it feels. Like I feel like I could take corners faster with the trailer and the side by side than without, just because of how things are set up. Those weight distribution hitches are amazing.
Yeah,
like that is an amazing invention. Whoever came up with those, kudos. Like that's badass.
10
like,
points.
Seriously, it's such a they just work. And it's such an idea too. Like when you first look at it, you're like, how does that work? How is that even doing that? But the one thing that triggered it for me was when you put your hitch in, there's always a little gap on above and bottom, above and below the hitch that you put in your, or the stinger that you put in your hitch, right? Where you can move it. When you put your, I'll just tell you what I do. I hook up to my trailer without the bars. Okay, I just drop the ball down. I pull it out in front of my house. I get it flat, or straight. Then I go and the tongue jack on the trailer, I lift it way up to where it takes up that gap in the hitch, and then it starts lifting the back of the truck. I put my bars in. I go 3 links above. So 3 links are hanging down. 4th link, I hook, put it on. Same on the other side. Drop it down. That gap above the hitch is gone. There's tension on that hitch, which distributes the weight to your front tires. If you've ever felt like when you're towing that you're kind of like doing a wheelie where there's not enough weight on your front and it's just kind of squirrely, you don't have enough weight that's getting transferred to the front tires, and that's what that weight distribution hitch does. It's phenomenal.
Well, and the best way to look at that is if you were to say do too much with your weight distribution hitch, you can lift the back wheels off the ground.
You could, yeah.
So that's what we mean about transferring that weight to the front of the truck. You're basically using a torsional load of the weight of the trailer transferred through the hitch to push
through the
front of the
frame
truck down.
to push the front of the truck down.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Mark, again, he's like, there was a video a while ago going around of a car that they hook up with a weight distribution hitch. It's got no wheels on the back, like a front wheel drive car.
Yeah,
they took the wheels off the back and they're just driving it around normal because there's so much weight that was distributed and it just won't sit down on the rear. It's a awesome thing to have. Like I've seen some people do, like the last time we went to that was my week vacation. We were in Idaho, like Calder, Avery area, and dude, there was this guy that we were behind that he was all over the road, all over. It was an F-150, and the trailer was relatively, I think it was a little toy hauler, and immediately I was like, there's either like a single 4-wheeler in there or there's like some dirt bikes.
Yeah.
That guy was all over the freaking road. When he turned, he did not have a weight distribution hitch whatsoever. And it's like, okay, dude, like that cannot be fun, especially on these roads. Like, how is that fun?
You must be sweating bullets right now.
Dude, it's sketchy. I felt it one time, and I changed my setup. Never felt it again. I'm like, this is how it's always going to be. This setup is so important, so important. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to jeopardize that by going too high with the truck. And then when you get in, doing like fifth wheels and stuff like that, like remember that guy we saw?
Oh yeah,
dumping his trailer here at the fairgrounds and was like, "Whoa, bro!"
Yeah, like, there's no way that's how you actually roll.
Yeah,
like, I hope that. So this tangent. So this guy rolls in. So we're right next to the fairgrounds, and if you listen and you're in Spokane, I'm sorry I made fun of you. But this guy rolls in like a Yukon, not an XL, like a basically not a Suburban, but a short 4-door GM, like early 2000s, probably 5.3 in it.
Oh yeah,
and 6 lug, not even like the heavy.
Yeah,
basically built to tow like what's that like? Tow limit's probably like 7,500 pounds,
probably
maybe at most. And he rolls in, and it's kind of a steep driveway to get in because there's a dump.
It's like a 30-foot trailer. Like it's a pretty long one.
It's long. I'm going to go ahead and say that if he were to like, it's not legal what he's moving. But it was just set up like it looked like he was about to drag the freaking hitch on the ground, even on flat ground. Just so that means like there's no airbags in the back, no torsion like hitch on there or anything like that.
I think he even had a torsion hitch, but it was definitely not set up correctly.
Oh, that's right, he did. And so I was. Tyler, being the pessimist that he is, it was instantly like, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, like, I believe the best in people to a point, and I'm like, man, there is no way that's how he actually rolls. He's got a torsion hitch on there.
Yeah.
Has he never, like, just Googled, like, is he aware that that's not the best towing experience he could be having right now?
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Yeah. It probably turns a lot of people away from, like, camping with a trailer.
Yeah.
If they've, like, bought one and, like, didn't set it up right and, like, go take it out and it's, like, just scary to drive.
Yeah.
Like, there's probably a lot of people that, like, go out one time and then sell their camper.
Like, so I came to the assumption of, because my office, actually me and Tyler's office both face, Tyler, like,
I run in, I'm like, check this out.
Total office space. I'd be, Ben, look at that truck coming in.
Yeah.
Because we share a wall, and like, in here, I'm like, come down the hall. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Idiot. And we're both watching him like, no way.
Yeah.
This guy, no way.
Yeah.
But so I painted a picture. I made a story.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like, okay, that guy obviously, he has to live somewhere around here.
Yeah.
And
you said he had another truck that he uses, and I was like, no, I don't think so.
But then the level increased a little bit of skepticism because when he left, there were still dealer plates.
Yeah.
Like, on the trailer.
Yeah.
Like when I say dealer plates, not like actual dealer, but like it was like Finley blah blah
like,
blah.
Click at RV.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't like not a plate or anything like that, like an advertising plate.
Yeah.
So my story was like, all right, this guy actually has the proper truck and maybe down for maintenance right now or something like that, or it's,
I started thinking maybe it was a guy that like worked for a dealer, but then I'm like, he went to go dump his trailer. So who's like just taking shits in trailers on the lot?
Is that a new trailer? Why is he dumping a new who's dropping poops in the new trailer at the dealership? Like, damn it.
Had to test it out. Test it out.
Did you poop with a trailer, Tim?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Do you want to
sell it?
Another tangent here. Do you know what is cool that when we did go look at travel trailers or fifth wheels, toy haulers, I even straight up told the salesman, I'm like, I ain't pulling the trigger on anything until I bring my side by side here and I drive it in this. Like I'm not messing around with that. He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm like, okay, we're gonna drive her right in.
Yeah. So I want to touch a little bit more on as far as like a lifted truck and towing. The biggest thing, like you talked about hitches, I think it's a great thing about having those extra bars on there. But
oh, absolutely! If you have a giant lifted truck and you're trying to tow a bumper pole, that's 100% you have to.
Yeah, think about your tongue height on your trailer, Because I know some trailers, they will do like an axle flip to give you some more height on the tongue. Also, if you're the one that always, even before I worked here, thinking about towing trailers and whatnot, the one that always got me was sidewall.
Yeah.
As much as we preach, 17-inch wheels and big tires and whatnot, that is not necessarily the best for towing.
Right.
Like if I was in your shoes, like a 20 or a 35, you have enough sidewall to where you're not a low pro,
Right.
but you don't have too much to where you're going to start getting sidewall deflection.
Yeah.
So think about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're kind of like building your truck out, and this is not your hint to lift a truck 12 inches, but again, 26s on 42s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, if you're going to be putting a 4, 6-inch, 8-inch lift in your truck or something like that, and you still need to tow with it, make sure you're getting a proper hitch, and make sure that you're taking into account that type of stuff. The other thing, if your rear lift is blocks with stock springs and you're towing heavy, you know how much me and Tyler hate blocks, right? We hate them, especially when you powder coat.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a case where you're going to feel that axle wrap, that's it.
Yeah.
So
I feel bad for the U-Bulls. They're just like the entire time.
you were like 3 feet away from the microphone and you still peaked it.
I know.
That was amazing.
But I mean, seriously, like, look at some of those U-Bolts. You're just like, shouldn't those be bigger? Like, if you're gonna do that, like, there ought to be a company that's just making giant U-Bolts,
Yeah.
like thicker, giant, huge U-Bolts.
Well,
Because they're so small. And then, again, I said this before, what bugs me the most is when you look at the back of the truck with a big block and they're not freaking parallel. They're not straight. They're like off to the side or something, or
you can see
leaning. Yeah, like, what the? That's not cool.
And the argument with that is if you understand why you would need, I'm going to categorize a whole bunch of truck owners right now.
Ooh, do it.
Ooh. I might ruffle some feathers on this one.
You might.
Okay.
Listen, if you can't take the facts,
Yeah.
then
I don't give a shit about your
I don't know why you're listening. Yeah.
Especially because SEMA's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about SEMA on another episode, but like if you're seeing the SEMA bloopers right now, I love them. I freaking love them.
Yeah.
But if I gotta word this right because I want to make sure that I just make them feel bad. If you have a truck and you have it lifted so tall and a hitch is on your accessory list and you have the support brackets on there, but this lift includes like 6-inch blocks, you obviously don't understand why those lift supports are there. The supports for the hitch are there in the first place because it's the same concept as far as a single point and leverage and weight.
Yeah.
And trying to pull it forward, but all these angles working against you.
Yeah.
And having to have support there. It's the same concept for a truck that has a tall ass block on there, and you trying to apply power to the ground and twisting everything, and then having to transfer that twisted power to your hitch, which is flexing out, which is then holding your possible 10, 12,000 pound trailer, which has your side by side, which is probably 30 grand, and your living quarters. Like, why would you? I'm having a hard time not like cussing a storm up right now. Like, how could you like put those together and not make the connection?
Yeah, like that combo of stuff never ends well. There's never a situation where it's just like, oh, yeah, something broke on the truck, and luckily everything was fine. No, if something breaks on the truck, guess what's happening? You're probably going to go off the road. Mm-hmm. You're going to jack up your trailer, and you're going to jack up whatever is inside that trailer. Mm-hmm. Again, these trailers are not built like a freaking Abrams tank, okay? These things are built as cheaply as possible. Even if you get a good, high-quality one, they're not like load-bearing walls.
They're trying to save weight. Like they're trying to save
even on
weight.
Expensive ones. Mm-hmm. Things are going to move. You ever watch a video of like live action of inside of a trailer driving down like a bumpy road?
Stuff, yeah,
it's scary inside. Mm-hmm. Like that's why they say like don't put your kids inside the trailer towing because shit moves around, and it's like It's like a freaking whatever California style earthquake going
Yeah.
on in that thing.
I mean, every time you pull up to it and you open up, like, that's not where I left you.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be over there.
Yeah. Seriously, it can be pretty violent inside of a trailer. So just imagine if something fails in your truck and you're off the road, like whatever you're carrying, it's going with it, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So case in point right there, as far as to answer this question. There you go, Tyler. Exercise the demons. They come in packs of 3. You got one more?
That's a 2-pack.
2-pack. Okay. 2-pack. A twofer on that one. But, you know, think about your hitch setup. And as far as when you're lifting your truck, make sure that you're not lifting your truck so high that you're not going to be able to do a fifth wheel. And consider sidewall.
Yeah.
And
Here's the thing with towing. Here's a good gauge. If you ever find yourself saying, I think that'll be okay, it's not going to be okay. That should work.
Yeah, if you're going like, and I know there's the dudes on Instagram, you know, the hashtag, you know, 26 in the toe pig and all that.
Yeah.
There is a cost that's associated with that, and keep in mind these people it's their job to make those trucks look like that and use them. If it's not actually your like 9 to 5 job to do that, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like get something that's going to start every time, it's going to move the weight every time, and not break.
Yeah.
That's what's fun.
Yeah.
That's your job is to get there. Your job is
Exactly.
to not, you know, I mean, obviously looking cool is part of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of like,
Yeah, we're
There's-
diesel guys. Doing cool stuff to your truck is always cool, but if it doesn't work, then you totally defeated the entire purpose of probably the truck that you bought.
yeah,
Getting there to enjoy the other things, the trailer, the side by side, the thing. Again, this is
people,
all
your
the
friends, your
people, the friends, the family, the outdoors. That's what it's all about. But you couldn't do it without the truck. So make sure the truck is on point, because if the truck's not on point, all those other things could, something could happen, and then now look what happens. You're just at home eating Cheetos on a beanbag chair, naked,
it's a vivid
watching The
picture.
View. I don't know.
Watching was that that one time in the '90s, or that was that show that talked about the '90s?
Oh, is it on Netflix?
No, it was a VH1 thing. I think or MTV, like taking it back to the '90s.
Oh, I know what show you're
Yeah.
talking about. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah.
I've had cable.
I know where I'm probably thinking of it right now, and some guys scream at the TV like, "It was called that!" I can't remember right now. But that's going to just about button this one up, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm excited that you have about 69% more grasp of what you were building for your truck, which was at about 69%. So effectively, you're like still, who knows?
Yeah, I'm getting close. For sure. It all depends on what when DDC is coming out with those super singles. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Because I might just wait for them. I don't know. Because other than that, I have no idea. So
Well, I like where your head's at with that truck, and it's
me
going to be
too.
really
I
cool.
think it'll be cool.
A little bit, something different's always good.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. The outro's going to roll in a minute here, but thank you to all our sponsors, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Focus.